Gita, chapter 4, text number 9. Okay, so here in Bhagavad Gita 4.5 to 10, the theme is that Krishna reveals his transcendental position about his birth and activities. Okay, the in the 4.4 fourth shloka, there was a question. So Arjuna asked a question for benefit of others. So that question gives an opportunity to Krishna to speak directly about himself in the next few verses. So now Krishna can directly speak. Okay. So in the 4.5 and 4.6, Krishna spoke about his appearance and disappearances. Okay, 4.5 Krishna says that my birth and death are not like yours, they are different, they are transcendental. And 4.6 Krishna says that I appear in my original transcendental form, which is unborn and I never die. I appear by my own will. Whenever Krishna is not bound to appear, he appears by his own will. Okay. Then 7 and 8, Krishna talks about his activities. Okay, and like when and why Krishna appears, and reason of his taking descendant. So when there is a decline in religion and irreligion becomes predominant, then Krishna appears. Why? To annihilate the demons and to deliver the devotees, paritrana sadhuna vinashacha dushkritam, to re-establish dharma sansthapanarthaya, to re-establish the principles of religion. Now in 4.9 and 10, completing the theme, which is the birth and activities of Krishna, in 4.9 and 10, Krishna talks about the result of understanding the knowledge of transcendental birth. Okay, so 4.5 and 6, he spoke about his transcendental birth. Okay, so and 4.7 and 8, he spoke about activities. Okay, 4 verses, 2 for he spoke about transcendental birth, and 2 verses he spoke about his activities. Now, as we have the knowledge about this birth and activities of Krishna, so what is the result of understanding the knowledge about Krishna? Okay, so let us see. So text number 9 says, Janmakam cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti. So Arjuna, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki jai. So one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Krishna is saying that anyone who understands, who knows the transcendental nature, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. Divyam means transcendental. So Janma and Karma. What is the nature of Janma, Karma and Krishna is transcendental. So one who understands, one who knows the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and activities, so when he leaves the body, that means during the death, he does not take next birth. Okay, in the material world, he never takes his birth again in this material world is not there. He will not take another birth in this material. But what will happen to him then? What will be his destination? His destination will be that he will attain Krishna, but attains my eternal abode, Arjuna. He will attain Krishna's abode. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord's descent from his transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. So anybody who, Prabhupada is saying that a person who understands Krishna's transcendental birth and death, already he is liberated. So since he already is liberated, so when he leaves his body, he is not going to take next birth in material world. He will take, he will go to Krishna's abode. Immediately after quitting this present material body, okay, immediately. Such liberation of the living entity from material bondage is not at all easy. So it's not that easy process. Okay, the impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many births. Okay, so this impersonalists and many yogis, when they attain liberation, it's by seeing them we can understand that attaining liberation is not that easy, because they take a lot of trouble, and after many birth they attains liberation. Even then the liberation they achieve, but still after this much trouble and this much time, these many births, what they attain actually is what kind of liberation? The liberation they achieve merging into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti of the Lord. Okay, so that kind of liberation Prabhupada is saying is only partial, and there is a risk of returning to this material world. Okay, but the devotee, simply understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activity of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending this body and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. So a yogi, after doing a lot of effort, spending many births, he will not be attaining abode of Krishna, but he will merge into the Brahman, and from there is a risk that he will come back again. But devotee, simply when he understands the nature, transcendental nature of the body and activities of Krishna, then he will attain a spiritual abode, he will attain the transcendental nature of Krishna. Okay, and there is no risk of returning back to this material world. So further in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord has many forms and incarnation. Okay, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One is to understand this fact with conviction. There are many forms and incarnation of Krishna, but although there are many transcendental forms, but they are still one and the same. So there is no much difference. There is no difference. One has to understand this fact with conviction, although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers. As stated in the Vedas, Purusha Bodhini Upanishad, Eko Dev Nityo Leela Nurakto Bhakta Vyapi Hirdi Antaratma. The one Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many transcendental forms in relationship with his unaligned devotees. So different way Krishna is engaged in different transcendental activities as per the mood of his devotees. This Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculation, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberation. So without much mental speculation, directly on the basis of Vedic information and on the basis of a statement of Krishna, a person who understands and believes and becomes convinced about the transcendental nature of Krishna's birth and activities, that person is very much eligible to attain the highest stage of liberation, that is going back home, back to Godhead. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can without a doubt attain liberation. The Vedic version Tattvam Asi is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the supreme, or who says unto the Lord, you are the same supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. So one should understand, okay, that the Brahman is also one of the feature of Krishna, that is the light coming out of the body of Krishna. Okay, so in other words, such a faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection, and this is confirmed by the following Vedic assertion. So, faithful devotee means who has full faith in Krishna, that yes, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna only comes as Paramatma. Krishna is one of the feature of Krishna is Brahman. Okay, like that. That faithful devotee of the Lord will definitely attain perfection, going back to Godhead and engaging in the service of Krishna. Okay, so this is confirmed in another Vedic assertion. Tam eva viditvati mrityumeti manya pantha vidyate ayanaya. One can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is no other way to achieve this perfection. So it is very simple. Just understand, just know the transcendental nature of Krishna's birth and activities, and then one can attain perfect stage of liberation. So that there is no alternative means, that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is surely in the mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not attain salvation simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of honey, or by interpreting the Bhagavad Gita according to mundane scholarship. So, as in this Vedic version, it is very clearly said that one will never attain liberation if he does not understand Krishna's transcendental nature. Okay. So, further, such empiric philosophers may assume very important roles in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Very important. These kind of philosophers, they will speak big philosophy, and on the basis of their words or their way of explanation, they will attain very important roles in the material world. They will become very famous, very important person, but actually they are not eligible for liberation. There is no, it's not necessary that they will get liberation. They may be very big person in this material world. Such puffed up mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotees of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. Okay, so what is the solution for them? So these philosophers, they have to wait for the causeless mercy of the Lord.
ठीक है, इसको यूज करता हूँ कीर्तन के लिए.
Okay, so now this is the way for these people, that they have to wait for mercy of the devotee. When a devotee comes and blesses them, then only they will attain perfection. Okay, so one should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. So that is the only way for them. Okay. Okay, so that was this shloka. Hare Krishna.